My dad is the Supreme Golden Divine Dragon. My mom is the Kangyue Dragon. And I'm a divine dragon hatchling born once in 1,000 years. But my own clan constantly wanted to devour me, all because I had a brother. True dragons only raise one child at a time. If more than one dragon egg is laid, they eat the weaker looking one. My scales didn't shine as brightly as my brother's, so I became the one they abandoned. My parents didn't choose to eat me, but they still threw me into the most dangerous abyss, the dungeon, leaving me to die. As I fell from the dungeon's first floor, I saw countless monsters below. 10 floors, 20 floors, until I landed on floor 60. It was a dense jungle. A giant leaf absorbed most of the impact. I crashed onto the ground. My entire body was in pain. I staggered forward, but the pain in my hind leg made moving difficult. My leg was broken. My body was injured in several places, and I was starving. Even if no predator found me, I'd still starve to death here. Just then, a purple-scaled snake crawled past me. Its body was covered in red stripes, and it was about the size of my palm. I searched my inherited memories, but found no information about it. I had no idea whether it was edible, but I had no other choice. I swallowed it whole. It was the only way I could survive. The snake tasted awful, but I forced myself to swallow it. A warm current flowed through my body. The energy released from digesting it healed my right leg. My other injuries also healed right before my eyes. I could walk and run again. Now I could hunt other creatures and fill my stomach. But the moment I took a step, a piercing pain shot through my right leg. The pain nearly made me black out. Strange noises kept ringing in my ears. I realized I'd been poisoned. I forced myself toward a nearby pool. I collapsed more than once along the way, but I remembered my father's cold stare. I remembered my mother throwing me into the dungeon. I remembered my brother's contemptuous look. Those memories pushed me back up every time. I kept moving toward the pool. I knew I was saved. It was the fountain of life. As long as I drank its water, the poison would be removed. But I still couldn't hold on long enough to reach the fountain. I collapsed to the ground. My fingers barely touched the water. My eyes were filled with frustration. Damn it, I was one step away. Then I lost consciousness. When I woke up again, it was already night. I was still alive. All the pain in my body had disappeared. I tried to stand up and realized I'd somehow grown taller. I went to the fountain of life for some water, but the entire pool had dried up. I could only wander through the darkness. After walking dozens of miles, I finally found another monster's tracks. They belonged to a herd of demon horned deer. I followed their tracks forward. A herd this large had to have a regular watering spot. Before long, I found a small river. The demon horned deer were drinking by the bank. Their leader scanned the surroundings, watching for possible threats. Among the entire herd, only the leader was a peak tier 1 beast. The others had only recently become magical beasts. I crept through the grass toward the river, trying not to alert the herd. I planned to drink my fill first, then find a chance to kill one for food. When I reached the water and prepared to drink, I saw my reflection in the river. My original golden skin was gone. In its place was a dark purple body. Several red stripes covered my right leg. A pale blue rune had also appeared on my right hand. What happened to me? But I didn't have time to think. The demon horned deer were already moving somewhere else. I gulped down a few mouthfuls of water, then rushed after the herd. I charged at the deer at the very back. It was a doe with no antlers. I clamped my jaws around her neck, but my body was too small. My teeth couldn't fully pierce her windpipe. So she cried out. The sound caught the entire herd's attention. The leader's feet began glowing white. A moment later, a wind blade shot toward me. I quickly released the deer and leaped away from my position. The deer I'd bitten had red steam rising from its wound. Before long, it collapsed while struggling. I had no idea what had happened. That wasn't one of my abilities. Could it have come from that snake? The herd leader continued glaring at me. Its antlers repeatedly flashed white, sending wind blades flying toward me. I couldn't dodge in time. A wind blade struck my arm. I was already weak from hunger. The wound wasn't large, but it refused to heal. Blood kept pouring out. I had to regain my strength to keep fighting it. I immediately made up my mind. I rushed toward the dead deer and tore off a huge chunk of meat. I swallowed it without even chewing. Some of my energy returned, and the wound began healing, but it felt completely different from before. This time, the sensation was strangely cool, as if I'd been soaked in spring water. I had no time to study the changes in my body. The leader fired several more wind blades. After dodging them, I charged straight at the leader. The demon horned deer leader lowered its head and charged at me with its sharp antlers. It was moving too fast for me to react. Its antlers launched me into the air. I slammed into a boulder and was left completely dazed. The leader quickly charged toward me again. Those antlers made me feel the threat of death. Just as it was about to kill me, a deafening thunderclap came from nearby. Immediately afterward, a bolt of lightning killed the entire herd. The ground began shaking violently, and I sensed a powerful presence approaching. I looked toward the source of the sound. Arcs of electricity flashed deep in the forest. A pair of enormous eyes suddenly appeared. I recognized the creature. It was an adult Leiji dragon, a type of lesser dragon. It was famous for its overwhelming attack power and ranked among the strongest lesser dragons. I'm finished. I'm definitely dead. I closed my eyes in despair. But after waiting for a while, the pain of being torn apart never came. Confused, I opened my eyes. The enormous Leiji dragon hadn't attacked me. Instead, it leaned in and sniffed me. The electrical organs on its back had shut down. I could sense its confusion. Lesser dragons possessed tremendous strength, but they weren't very intelligent. Maybe it mistook my scent for one of its own. It slowly stepped backward. Just then my stomach growled. The Leiji dragon walked toward the dead herd. It picked up the leader's body and placed it in front of me. A faint voice entered my mind. It came from the Leiji dragon. Eat. Without hesitation, I opened my mouth and tore into the food before me. My injuries were healed, and my strength slowly returned. For the first time in days, I finally felt full. Before long, I'd eaten the entire deer. Then I drifted off to sleep. I hadn't rested for a single moment in days. Now that I was full, exhaustion took over. When I opened my eyes again, I was inside a cave. I was lying in a small nest made of dry grass. Beside me, 2 young Leiji dragons were playing. I stood up, and the 2 young dragons noticed me. They walked over and examined me closely. They seemed curious about where I'd come from. The braver one shook its body, and electricity flashed across the organs on its back. The other one quickly copied it, sending sparks flashing across its back. They looked at me, with anticipation on their faces. I thought to myself, this must be their unique way of saying hello. But I wasn't a Leiji dragon. I couldn't produce electricity, so I couldn't respond. Just then, their mother called out from the cave entrance. Hearing her, the 2 young dragons happily walked outside. I didn't understand what was happening. One of the young dragons came over to me and tugged at my claw with its mouth. It seemed to want me to come outside too. When we left the cave, a massive tusked elephant lay dead outside. The 2 young dragons walked over and began enjoying the delicious meal. My stomach started growling again, so I boldly walked over too and started eating. After we were full, the 2 young dragons went back to playing. Meanwhile, I examined the power inside my body. Only then did I notice the edges of my underdeveloped wings were covered in white patterns. I remembered the snake I'd eaten when I first arrived here, a snake that had never been recorded.